Sure, ask away. What do you want know? Frederick gives him the go-ahead, wrapping his partially eaten ration back up, and putting it on the dashboard to better listen to him. And he is also quite full from eating a few chunks of the tasteless brick already. He looks at Kroganar, smiling a bit from giddiness. It was a great day, after all. Minus sitting in a cockpit and waiting out a snowstorm. He finally found an escape pod of the Newton, and even got his hands on a literal truckload of useful and quality-of-life stuff. No more going commando, he internally rejoices. Kroganar, meanwhile, calmly reaches out to his small overhead cubby and produces a small, blocky metal flask from it. The reptilian swishes it around for a bit, finally looking at Frederick with his trademark stare. Do your people consume alcohol? He asks him, unscrewing the cap. Alcohol? Oh, definitely. Humans consume lots. I think humans discover alcohol before even invent first tool. Frederick laughs. Kroganar takes a swig, rumbling contentedly as the burning sensation spreads to his first stomach. Interesting, he nods. Then, do you want some? It helps keep the cold away. It's going to get a lot worse later on. Frederick is a bit torn, looking back and forth between the flask and the old warrior. Drinking booze is not really his style. How much alcohol inside? Like, percent? He carefully asks. Kroganar mulls over the question, giving him his best guess. I do not know. Dushavi made it, he rumbles with a tiny shrug. But I would definitely place it on the stronger side. Around 10%. Wait, hold up. 10%'s on the stronger side? Oh boy. He expected something like 50 or maybe 70%. But 5? Keeping his opinion to himself, he accepts the offer, trying not to be an ass. Who knows? Maybe Raukir are heavy drinkers, at least comparatively, he wonders, enjoying the slightly warm sensation. Giving him back the flask, Frederick lets his curiosity win. Only a little bit, though. People not able to drink strong? He asks him. Generally speaking, I would not say so. Most can take about 1% with pretty much no trouble, and quite a lot are comfortably up to, say, 10% or so. Kroganar notes casually. Placing the flask on the dashboard, he gives Frederick a look. Yep, a look. He still has problems reading the old man's expressions, much to his chagrin. I also wanted to ask you something about Luna, Kroganar admits, his tone more gentle than usual. Oh? Frederick's expression brightens at hearing her name. Shoot. How did you get a hold of her? Kroganar struggles to phrase it right. I find it hard to believe that someone would actually manage to get their hands on a blood-beast pup, let alone live to see another day after doing so. They're extremely protective of their young. Kroganar pauses for a moment. You might actually very well be the first person to ever touch a live pup, now that I think about it, he admits with a tiny chuckle. Bo did not only survive, you did far more than that. You actually took her with you and raised her as if she was your own. His expression softens a bit. I have seen the way you two interact, Frederick. It baffles me. She truly loves you, and I cannot wrap my mind around it. How? Why? Who in their right mind would see one of the deadliest creatures in the known galaxy, a Class A apex predator, and think to themselves, why not raise it? That seems like a perfectly fine idea to me. I know I could not, he adds, a tinge of sadness to his voice. And there is even more than that. Not only did you get a hold of her and take her in, but you somehow managed to make her bond with you, make her love you back. A beast, Frederick. You made a beast love you back. His gaze grows distant as his mind wanders. They are not like us, you know. Should not be like us. I have seen it firsthand countless times. I lost many brothers to beasts just like her. Those scenes will haunt me for the rest of my life. The screams, he mutters to himself. How, Frederick? He stares into his eyes. How did you do that? How did you manage to befriend such a creature? I've been asking myself that question on end ever since I first saw you, and realized what you two are to each other, and I have been going in circles. That thing that you two have brings both tremendous joy and deep sadness to my heart. The old warrior turns silent after that, staring at him. Frederick is not sure how he should feel about the figurative mountain that just got dropped on him. But he also kind of gets where Krogonar is coming from. Well, where begin? Frederick starts, chuckling nervously. Remember what I tell about arrive here? Crash with pod? He asks, and Krogonar nods affirmatively. After I wait night in pod because of big storm outside, I start walk away, try find out where I was, did not realize that no longer in Sol. He takes a sharp breath as he gets to the next part, memories welling up. After walk a few hours or so, I suddenly hear loud scream, he tells him, and tries his best to mimic the weirdly high-pitched cry the beast gave off back then. Krogonar's eyes widen a bit as he hears the animal cry, but remains silent as Frederick continues. A few moments later I see huge beast, almost same height as me when it stand normal. And then things get ugly. I kill it, he confesses, still feeling absolutely awful about it. I kill it with own two hands, Krogonar. He looks at them, as if they still had that orange blood sticking to them. The old warrior keeps staring at him, silently urging him on. It was ugly fight. Well, only makes sense. We both not want die, he laughs dryly. Not sure if I ever want fight again, he admits, staring at the air. When his body go limp and I saw change. He stops himself, taking a short breather to fight the rising nausea. When I saw life leave his body, I feel disgust at myself. Almost throw up because, but then bubbles come over. He smiles fondly at the memory, thinking back to the little ball of fur nipping at his boots as he sat in that cave. In that moment I decide to make good for what I do, he tells him with stilled resolve. That's right. I made a promise back then, and I'm gonna fucking keep it. Krogonar shifts in his seat, reflecting on what he has just been told. I see your time here was hard on you, he observes neutrally. Am I right to assume that was the first time you killed something? Frederick nods, solemnly, still a bit shaken from going through those memories again. You really do remind me of my younger brothers, Krogonar mutters. And going back to my question, he asks, trying to be considerate of Frederick. You took her in because you wanted to balance the scales, so to speak. Yeah, Frederick nods. Do not get me wrong. That is a good thing, Krogonar reassures him. The last thing this galaxy needs is yet another emotionless killer. But it makes me wonder, how do your people get your meat then? Are you scavengers? If that was your first kill, then surely you must have some other source of meat other than killing, no? Well, sound logic on his part. Frederick chuckles to himself. No, we usually not scavenge. Almost never. But almost nobody actually have to kill animal for meat anymore, you know? Somebody else kill animal and sell you, or meat come from not animal. Not animal? Krogonar rumbles, clearly interested. You see, we have fine method of make meat without need living animal. Meat is made in factory and grown in little metal box. Meat from actual animal very expensive. Luxury thing, he explains. That is definitely something new to me, Croconut replies, stumped. How would something like that even work? Everybody knows that meat can only come from living things, so how do they just grow it in some weird boxes? And why would they even bother coming up with something like that? It's just needlessly complicating things. Predators eat prey. That is the natural order of things, like it or not. It has already been like this since time immemorial. So why would a predator feel bad for killing its prey? It has the same right to survival as any other being, after all. Would a herbivore feel bad for the blade of grass it just ate? Of course not. His people, those humans, they sure love breaking the mold. Crocodile grumbles. I still do not understand why she bonded with you like that. What did you do to make it happen? Well, I not think that you can do with only one trick, you know. It's more like many small thing over time, just like friendship in people. So you took her in, knowing that she was smart enough to form a bond like that? To be honest, at beginning I actually not know that she smart, you know. I think she just normal animal, like all the other. Really? What made you take her in then? Good question. I guess she looked cute and I feel bad at time. That is it? Yes. Mammals. One of de Chevy's favourite catchphrases comes to his mind. So, to sum things up, you fought an adult blood beast, bested it, and then took in its young as your own, with no real reason except that you thought it was cute. That sounds a lot more bad than actually is. Frederick playfully defends himself. But yes, he smiles. Crocodile massages his temples as he thinks. That leaves one question, then. Why did you even consider taking her? Why not? Frederick, nobody would have even considered that being an option. Really? Absolutely. But why not? He repeats himself, though a bit more earnestly. No, serious, why not? It's too small to hurt you and young enough so you can still tame. I not see any reason not to. Tame? The reptilian repeats the word. Yeah, as in take home with you, give food, give shelter and receive product. Tame is how you do with almost all animal, right? That sounds insane. Are your people all right? Life on Earth must be hell if you had to resort to tactics like that. Insane? Frederick disapproves. No, it's normal, not insane. We tame many different animals on Earth. Some prey, other predator. It's pretty easy, you know. All have different use. Some give milk, others give egg. Other useful to protect you and your family. See, one species we even tamed so long ago that we both start to evolve different because they dangerous predator when start, but now they are best friend. We are call them dogs, he explains. Dogs are so much best friend that when humans see dog or dogs see human, they get happy chemical in brain. Ancestors give me strength, Crocodile prays before continuing. So you are trying to tell me that your people have managed to somehow tame various different species on your home planet, predators included? Yes. This is going to be a long night.